All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. I showed up in the OG Packers shirt today. Don't kid yourself. I was here for it. Ho, ho, ho! Merry Nixmas, all you Denver fans, and to all a good night. Are you kidding me? What a football game, right? Unbelievable, what a football game. I love Bo Nix. Listen, I know I got the OG Packers, sure, Acme Packers at that. I'm not here to play. I like the Packers. I love the stadium. I went on a tour, and if you've never done the stadium tour at Lambeau, it's absolutely unbelievable. And at some point, if you've never been there, I've never got the pleasure of watching a football game there. But on that tour, what I realized is just how loud it can get in that studio, or in that arena. Arena's still not right. In the stadium, that was real hard for me to get out. English doesn't come natural to me. It's actually my only language, so I'm hoping to learn it soon. So in the facility, if you've never been, it's extremely loud. On my tour, we had about 30 people, and so they had us practice. So we were like, go Pack, go. And when you say it, it comes back around, and I've got it on video. It is incredible just how loud it is when you're at the stadium. So when you put 30,000 people in there, or however many they get in there on a standard Sunday afternoon when they're winning, well, it's going to be loud. So I'm a big fan of the Packers and of the franchise. I love the shirt. I thought it was cool because it was blue and it's OG. I don't know that I'm a Jordan Love fan. I probably should be, but I don't know that I'm sold yet. Either way, he played one heck of a game, and Sunday brought some serious skills out. I'm all for Bo Nix if you don't know why. Let me tell you why. It's because Auburn tossed him around like he was trash. They hated that guy. They couldn't get him out of town fast enough. And nothing makes me happier than to watch Auburn discard some incredible talent. They're good at it too, boy. And that's another thing. If you're an Auburn fan, you know I'm right about this. Auburn fans, Alabama fans by and large, it's just a state thing, really. Once they cross the threshold of college and they go to the NFL, nobody cares. No one talks about them. They don't get nothing for their birthday no more. Nobody's mentioning them at the table. It's like they went to a state school from another school. It's not okay. It's frowned upon. You have to stay college age forever, I guess. I don't know exactly what the malfunction is, but that's the way Bama does them. When they go up, they go away. Auburn fans did not like Bo Nix. I worked around a bunch of them at the time, and he was the devil to these people. They were like, we've never seen a worse quarterback in our whole life. He fumbles, he throws to the wrong team, he's got all the problems of a quarterback. Well, I agree. Then he went over to Oregon, and look what he did. That's right. Now, I mean, let's be honest. Anyone that gets more reps than Tom Brady in college... I mean, Tom had a pro career and didn't get as many reps. This kid had 38 years of eligibility. When you have 14 runs at a national championship, by God, you ought to get one. I mean, you get out of college, you're 35. I'm just saying he was around there for a minute. But I'm glad to watch. It's been a good time. Watching the Packers, I don't know where we're at now. I'm a little concerned about the NFC altogether. When you look at arguably the number one team over there, and again, an argument can be made for Seattle. They had a good schedule. I mean, they've won. They've done well. And then they're going up against the Colts, which should have been a phenomenal game, but due to the injury of Daniel Jones, no one was going to watch until someone said, you know what we could do? We could dust off Phillip Rivers and bring him in and try not to get him killed and or mangled, and maybe, just maybe, someone will care about this football game. Did it work? Of course it worked. It was phenomenal. Everybody was talking about it. It was the only thing I cared about in the second batch of late games, which, by the way, if you got a chance to watch the NFL yesterday afternoon, even the early games and the late games, there weren't too many blowouts. Everything seemed to stay kind of right together. It was a blast to watch. So I watched the Packers game. We talked about that, and that game got me a little annoyed because at the very beginning of the afternoon, nobody's disrespected nobody yet until some of the Packers run in. There's two guys from the Packers that run in on the field, and one of the Broncos somehow either hit him, put a shoulder in him, shoulder checked him, or the earth shifted and he moved. I don't know. Either way, they ran into each other and it caused a cataclysmic failure in the force. Everything stopped and they had to get it on. So next thing you know, we got a fight that's broke out for both sides. Y'all ain't even kicked the ball off yet, you bunch of stupids. Here's the other thing. You're already too big. Y'all growed too much. You ate too much Jolly Green Giant. I don't know. How tall is the average man in the US of A? 5'9". You people don't start till 6'2". And when you're talking about, I know there's an occasional anomaly, but the reality is the average NFL player is 6'2". When you get into the line, their average becomes 6'5". So what I'm saying is people are already scared of you. You got too tall. You're like a Jolly Green Giant in a land of normal, tiny people like us. I mean, I'm just saying, don't do stuff that gets you in trouble. Y'all done got in a fight. You know the NFL's going to find you. And here's what he said. He talked to him. He said, what he said, let me make sure I got this right. He said he bumped into me as I ran on the field. You can't do that, man. You can't, that can't be the reason. That's the kind of stuff that gets, bro, we got to get your temper dialed back. I know you're jacked up about a football game, and I know the Packers fans are all like, let's go. Let's break them in half before the game. But the reality is, that's no way to act, man. Nobody wants to see that. You're already scaring folks. You're already too tall. You ate too much. And we're here for the show, but we're not here to see nobody get killed. Especially before you kicked off. You didn't have time to get mad at one another yet. How can that much anger build up? You was in the locker room a few minutes ago trying to get your hair did, trying to make sure that you had all 13 of your chains on, your 15 earrings, and your nose ring, and all of them needed to connect and whatnot. And you had to have your undergarments in just the right place, and you can only shave this side of your beard or whatever your little nervous tick is about winning, and you come out of there and you're already in a bad mood. That don't make no sense. Y'all hadn't even warmed up good yet. Man, you don't deserve that fine, and I hope in the future you'll figure out a way to dial that back just 1 or 2 notches. Jordan Love don't need that. He needs every opportunity he can get. He needs the fans on his side. He needs everybody to help him out so that he can either be successful or not. But he has had some really good days for the Packers, and they got a good record right now, so kind of fun to watch either way. I enjoyed watching that yesterday. On the Heisman, I don't know if you got a chance to catch that. ABC had it on, or ESPN, one of the two or both, had it on Saturday night. And I tell you what, 30 minutes is how long it took them to get to, it's like the Titanic. Bro, that movie shouldn't have been that long. We knew what was going to happen. The ship was going down. We get it. We could have cut some of that drama out. Same with this Heisman Trophy thing. I'm not even sure we needed to give that a full 30 minutes for all the pomp and circumstance. We could have put that in a 15-minute capsule. We could have done it at halftime on the game. We could have done a lot of things. 30 minutes was too long. I sat there waiting, chewing off my fingernails and whatnot. Who did you think deserved the Heisman? Was there any other choice? In my mind, I'm like, it's got to be the guy from Indiana, right? It's got to be that guy. Has to be, right? Then he wins. Good. So Mendoza takes the big prize. He made somewhere around $2 million last year, maybe closer to $3 million, and he just got a deal with Adidas, so that's really cool. And they're going to draft him probably in somebody. And the great part about the draft is we take the absolute worst team, which is habitually, it winds up being the ones that are either coached the worst and or the upper level management is the worst. So congratulations on being the best. Now you get to go play for the worst for a while. And in that, who's going to wind up with Mendoza? Is Fernando going over to the Titans? It's a possibility. What about the Raiders? The Raiders. You would think, since Tom Brady has his fingers in that dough as they need it to make their perfect cake, you would think that they would be like, let's let Tom do what Tom do. Help him. Because what they got, I think Gino's still over there, right? I mean, you don't call Gino when you need a fix. You call Gino when you need somebody to sit on the bench and prepare, keep things clean, get a jacket for the one that's going to be the fix, because it ain't Gino. Gino's going to throw every once in a while. He's going to throw some real pretty passes. He's also a great ambassador for your team. He don't win much. That's not his thing. So you knew that was a Band-Aid at best, and I'm betting it was a way too many millions of dollars Band-Aid, because really, that's one of those deals. If you're asking me, you didn't. But if I'm the Raiders, right now, who wants Geno? At this point, you trade Geno for a horse and shoot the horse. You don't want anything left over from that miserable experience. You need to go get somebody. Well, here's an opportunity for you, Fernando Mendoza. That might be somebody you can look at. And if you are the Titans, y'all need a franchise. Somebody who plays for the Titans. Does anyone in this building know who plays for the Titans? Anyone on any level? I don't even know. Do they have someone? Is that the one Caleb? No, that's the other one. And the same colors almost. No, the powder blue of Tennessee has nobody that I can't think of anyone. Who's coaching it? I don't know anything about the Titans right now, and that's problematic. That means they don't win enough. So that probably needs to be looked at. Maybe we can, through the draft, find ourselves a good quarterback and get ourselves rolling. Because if not, you're going to continue to suck. That's not good. Speaking back on one of the games I was looking at yesterday, I was talking about sizes earlier. 5'9" is the average male. 6'5" is the average male football player. Or 6'2", the linemen are 6'5". I was watching the Detroit Lions game, and their kicker came out. This dude immediately looked, based on everyone else on the field, looked malnourished and a little bit like a kid who was lost at Walmart and had to go to the front and go, I can't find my mommy. It was that sort of look. This dude didn't weigh enough. I'm serious. I felt like someone needed to take him a Nutri-Grain bar or something. I thought if somebody hits him, he's going to be in 6, 8, maybe 10 pieces. I'm going to pray for the man, but he sure can kick. He kicked the devil out of the football, but I did get worried about him, and I still do. Those dudes on the front line, that's a problem with Kyler Murray, too. Speaking of which, what's going to happen when we get out over towards here in Phoenix? Because the Kyler Murray experience has to be over, right? What are we doing? It has to be over, right? You've got a great receiver that you're about to poo-poo their career so you can continue to play in this great experiment. The Kyler Murray days have to be over. Now we have to go get a real quarterback, a franchise, not whomever was thinking when they made that decision. Now let's go find a quarterback, one that's tall enough to see over anyone. Poor Kyler can't see over the center when he's bent over. There's no chance. He has to run in between them. I love to watch him play because he runs 2 or 3 miles each play. And it's a good time when he connects, too. But it wears me out. At the end of the game, I need a cigarette, and I go straight and get a shower. I don't smoke, and I didn't even get dirty. Not like I was wearing a jersey. Come on, Kyler. It's fun to watch. But, you're probably not going to win much. And here's a shocker. We don't win much here in the Valley. However, I saw something yesterday about Joe Burrow. Clearly, things have changed in Cincinnati. Have they? The sad part is Cincinnati's winning days are closer or in the rear view than are the Dallas Cowboys. Let's think about that for a minute. That's right. The Dallas Cowboys are 20 years ago the Browns and the Bungles. That's where we live right this minute. I didn't see that coming either, did you? No, but it happened. Snuck right up on me. Now we're looking at a time when Joe Burrow cannot stay healthy because the entire team of Cincinnati they got more holes than a sponge. It's a mess. I'm telling you, y'all got to do something. He needs to get out of there. You need to wreck somebody else's career. There's not too many things we can continue to put together on this man to keep him playing. And it's a shame because he's a wonderful football mind, I feel like. He proved that to y'all. Unfortunately, the things that plague you are the things that continue to plague you. So where do we put Joe Burrow now? What about Phoenix? It's a good idea. He's got a good receiver. Plus, it won't be hard to attract receivers when you have Joe Burrow and that cannon playing for you. That could be good times. Hashtag fun in the valley. However, there's probably some more money out there for him somewhere else. Can you imagine if you could put Joe Burrow in, I don't know, the Saints? What are the Saints doing right this minute? The Saints still have Kamara, right? He's still got a lot. I mean, I wouldn't be a lot. He's still got some fuel in the tank. I don't know how much. You also have Taysom Hill, one of the more talented, least utilized guys we have in the NFL. But I think durability is a problem if he plays more than the 4 plays he plays a game. Otherwise, he winds up, with a detached wing and a leg that goes the wrong direction because they're all big. And when they collide Taysom runs fast. And when they collide at those speeds, things break. That's just the way it works for poor Taysom. But I think there's a couple of years left in Kamara. Maybe you could bring in Burrow at that point. Then you're going to have a receiver or two they already have. You add 1 or 2 more, and now all of a sudden we might have ourselves a team. It's a team that has to start with beating the Bucs, right? As long as we beat the Bucs, we're in pretty good shape. I ain't really worried about the Panthers and some of the other teams we got to deal with down there, but that might be an idea. They need a franchise anything too. The last franchise they had was what? Drew Brees? And then Drew Brees? Yeah. So we need a franchise down there. That would be interesting to see. And also, how much longer are we going to continue in Miami with the experiment we got going down there? Might be time we get a quarterback that's a little more durable, or maybe we put in a 2-quarterback system. That's an idea Miami always fashion forward. Why not? Take a chance at that, maybe. Get yourself a really good running quarterback that can also throw, and then take through the draft, so maybe a second rounder, and then keep your current situation with Tagovailoa. Let him, because you know what happens if that dude sneezes wrong, he's broken. And now you lose 3 weeks. And that's unfortunate. That's just real life. I mean, he's had a rough run from the day he got here. He showed up in a bad way, and it's just progressively got worse. But, man, he's so much fun when he's chunking the ball, isn't he? It's beautiful to watch him connect. Speaking of connection, Stafford. So much fun to watch Sunday when I was watching the games. He was absolutely Matthew. I was calling him Michael for some reason. Stafford and Goff can play week in and week out as far as I'm concerned. What a fun showdown that turned out to be. And what a season that Matthew Stafford's put together this year. Now, that brought me back to, if we're still on football for a half second, I'll get off of it in a second. So I got some other things I could save you some money on your cell phone bill. I'll tell you more of that in a minute. But back to what I was saying. Are we sold on Sam Darnold? Are we sold on the Seahawks getting much further? I've been sold all season. I don't understand what happened with the Colts. It was a blast to watch Phillip Rivers. Just like I said, for 1 or 2 games, we're going to have fun, then he's going to be hurt. His energy it's absolute. You can feel it at home. So much fun to watch this guy play. I truly am worried about him getting hurt because he's been so good to the game and the game's been so good for him. But he was chucking that ball around. The rock was flying, and it was a blast to see him back on the field doing what he does. And I was pulling for them, and they kept playing the field goal game back and forth. And the Seahawk kicker may have just kicked another. Yeah, he just did, scored again. I mean, that's all they're going to do is kick field goals. And now I realize the Colts defense is good. And the Colts are a good team. They have a good, on both sides of the ball, they're pretty well put together, which was good and a blessing for Phillip Rivers as he came back. Some of those throws, just like it looked like in the end, there's just nothing behind them. It looks more like someone like me threw them than someone of that caliber. And if you've never caught footballs from someone who is on that level, this may come as a shocker. This is going to blow your mind. This is earth shattering right here. I let my alligator mouth overload my hummingbird butt down in Little Rock one time, and I was talking to him about their AFL2 team because I was down there doing some news talk stuff and some music, radio, and stuff like that. And so I said, listen, it'd be cool if we did this dual deal to promote your product, and maybe I kicked off because I've been known to kick a football or two. I got some kicking back in the day in my background. And they were like, okay, let us check with the league. It seemed like a good idea at the time, and I was all for it. So the league was like, no, that's not happening. He could get hurt and probably killed. And so I was thinking, for the stunt, I might do it, right? Because that's what you do when you're in radio and television. You're always looking to capture eyes and find things that are entertaining. And I thought, well, maybe I could outrun them or just fall down or just try not to die for one or two plays. That's all I really have to do to say I did it. And so they decided to let me come down and do some warming up with the guys. And then we were talking about it and trying to figure out how we could make it work. And I think what they were doing was scaring me straight right in the middle of it. Because they were like, yeah, let's just have you go down on the field with the guys and you can toss the rock around and we can work on kicking it a little bit and get a feel for it. You can see them running and what kind of speed they got and whatnot. And I'm thinking, well, whatever. Keep in mind, I'm 40 by then. So, I'm still in my mind. Oh, like Toby says, I'm as good as I once was. But bruh, So I got out there on that field and I started playing catch with the guy that's the quarterback. So keep in mind, this is not NFL level quarterback. This is hopeful. That's probably a D1 with a little bit of a height problem or a little speed or a little accuracy, something that's big enough to keep him out of those conversations. So I'm playing catch with the dude, and I mean, he is all but breaking all of my fingers. Now, I remember the conversations. I mean, I'm catching the ball. I got that. But I'm telling you, my fingers are hurting. And I remember the conversations when you talk back to the Brett Favre days, and his receivers would say out there in the cold, back to the pack. They would play catch. When they were warming up, their fingers would get broken. Like, that's not okay, bro. Can we try a Nerf ball? Anybody? I don't need no broken fingers. As I was out there on the field with those guys and I was playing catch, I realized, well, they're different than me. I mean, I'm wearing gloves and whatnot, but I am not going to need gloves. I'm going to need like cast iron on my hands. Y'all going to break me. So then I get down there to kick and whatnot, and we're just going to run through it. And they're like, everybody, don't kill him. Let's just do our thing. And no, I don't want to run through it. No, I don't. I realized right away, one, they're bigger than me. Two, they're 5 times faster than I ever was. Even when I was a kid, they're most probably smarter than me on every level. I might know a few more things about weather. I may not, especially after they hit me. I probably won't remember my name or my birthday or which administration is going on right now. I mean, these cats were coming fast, and they were strong, and I was scared to death. I got off the field and I was talking to the management again, and we were talking about that whole process. And I'm like, you know what? That idea sucked. We don't need to do that, boys. They realized that I would realize that I didn't want to die because it would be funny. That's not that funny. So we ended up doing something else. Oh, I know what we did. We sat in every seat at War Memorial Stadium. 52,000 seats. And by we, I mean me. And it took me 7 days to sit in every seat in War Memorial Stadium. Get up, sit down. Get up, sit down. We raised money for the War Memorial Stadium Fund. It was a really cool thing, and it was neat. But let me tell you something. I wasn't right for a long time, and now I don't want to go back in a stadium. I'm done with stadiums. Finish. I'm afraid not. I'm not going to be in a stadium. I was in a stadium for 7 straight days, sleep on the field. No, they were bugs. It was turf. But, I mean, it was interesting. It was fun doing.
But I'm kind of glad I'm not in that business because that was more up and down than flying airplanes. It was a lot of seats. I think it was maybe 56,000, 52,000. It felt like 28 million. By the time it was over 7 days later, I tell you, I couldn't stand up or sit down because my legs felt like they were absolutely burnt up. I haven't been right since, and that was a long time ago. The big news of yesterday's football is the Kansas City Chiefs have been eliminated. That's going to come as a shocker for a lot of people. I sure didn't want to see it myself. I'm a Kansas City Chiefs fan. I can't hate. I have a lot of teams. I'm sort of a weird fan. Here's what I'm a fan of. I'm a fan of really good offense. I like when the ball moves. I don't care about defense. I do, in that it's so that it doesn't become just a straight track meet. But I don't care about 3-3 games, 7-3. That's baseball to me. I don't have time for that. I'm here for the scores. If I had time for nobody scoring, I'd be watching soccer, and I don't have time for that. I don't want to hear from you soccer people. Well, y'all can't play for an hour. You shouldn't be able to play for an hour and end at 0. That's not right. That's like kissing your sister. Y'all need to get that junk figured out. That's a problem with your sport. And how can your people just add time? We added some time. How much time? I don't know. We'll tell you when we get done. What the hell? That's not real. You can't do that. It's not a sport. So the biggest thing that happened in yesterday's event was the Kansas City Chiefs getting eliminated. Now the Bills and the Patriots, did you see that? That was a shootout. I'm here for the Drake May show. Here's what I wonder, though. I'm going to call this now, and I'm going to feel bad about it if I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong, because I'm really here for the Drake May show. I like seeing the Bills and the Patriots go head-to-head. I like when it means something, and I like when the Patriots win. I also like when the Bills win. I believe the Bills are owed a little something. I don't believe you get to 4 Super Bowls in a row and you don't even win one. Come on, man. Somebody caught the flu. Something should have went bad for everybody else, and you should have snuck one by 4 times in a row. Come on. That's just rough. And you got Josh Allen, and it seems like every year they fall apart at the wrong time. Well, this year, good news, it won't be the Chiefs if you fall apart. The other thing I don't understand, if we're still on football, and I need to get to this other thing, but football, why do the Ravens suck? I don't understand that. They have all the talent they could possibly now. They should be winning I don't understand it. The Eagles, there's way too much talent on that team. I'm a Cowboys fan, but I love to watch the offense of the Philadelphia Eagles. That ball's moving up and down the field. That's a joy. Any team that's got a running back that jumps over people backwards, stop. I'm going to watch that. I'm going to watch that for a long time because I feel like I'm watching a video game live. It is amazing to watch this team. So I was looking at some of the other things from yesterday. If you had a chance to dissect that Phillip Rivers outing, in my mind, you got some good throws. He was alert. He was solid. He was good for everything. But the other team, the Seahawks were complaining because they said the whole thing just baffled them. They didn't know what to expect. Because they had a bunch of video on him, but none of them knew how to work a VCR, so they just all looked at it, and so they don't know where he was going. Come on, that was terrible. That was just, no, that's not what that was. That was awful. But the fact is, they looked like they'd never seen the man. Right? Did you not know what to expect? Did you not see this coming? Come on, y'all. So as we get towards the playoffs, I'm excited about the playoffs, but now it's time to spin the wheel. We spin the wheel on how's the NFL going to screw us this time. What oddball or potentially oddball app are we going to have to now pay for the next 2 years at $7.99 a month so we can enjoy the one game that insert app here is going to have? You think I wanted Peacock? No, but I got it because y'all put a playoff game on it and I was stuck. Even if it was a game I didn't care about, it didn't matter because I don't believe that I should miss a playoff game because it's important to me. So it's all about how we're going to do it. But I did see something interesting. I don't know who we got to add this year that we weren't already getting, but YouTube TV, in case you missed this, This is not an ad. Hashtag not an ad. I'm stuck paying for. I wanted to get the NFL Red Zone. That's what I watch on Sunday. I don't know how you watched it. Again, not an ad. I don't care. But that's how I do it because I like to keep this ball moving. I don't like a lot of punts. I don't like a whole lot of timeouts and all of the stuff that you get with the regular game. So I like what I get from the Red Zone channel. Again, not an ad, but that's why I have YouTube TV. But if you missed this, or in case you missed it, YouTube TV is going to they're doing some repackaging of some things. If you're in that program, then you know they had a little bit of an ABC Disney issue, which is really hanging on the balance of what's going on with ESPN and ESPN2. So, or that whole package. So they figured something out, and I think they're going to start offering packages. You'll get a sports package. If you're a movie lover, you can get a movie package. If you have kids, you can get the kids package that includes Disney, which will be an interesting thing. And there's a lot to come together with that, so you can't quote me on all that. But if you're interested, check that out, because that $83 base price or whatever is a lot of money. It might not be for you, but it is for me, though. So if they are coming down on something, I thought that was cool. And while I was on that, I was looking at saving money, and I saw this, and I talked to my girl about it the other day, and I talked to some friends of mine about it at work. And I saw where they were saying that Verizon and the folks at T-Mobile and over at AT&T, they're all in this kind of mess because the prices have gone absolutely insane. We were treated as so many years of low cell phone prices. And then all of a sudden, boom, straight through the roof go the prices. And Verizon was updating every 15 seconds, adding money and cutting off all the discounting. And for all of their long-running fans, and not fans, but their long-running subscribers for their network weren't getting the discounts. And then people started running, and now there's just this mass exit for everything. The cell phone companies are reeling right now. So I saw that story, and it said that if you talk to your cell phone provider, if you've been with them a minute there and you tell them you're looking to leave, there's a better than average chance you can get some money taken off your bill. So I told a friend of mine that. I just told him, hey, I saw this article. He called his provider, which was Verizon, and told him, listen, I'm looking around, and he was. I'm looking around. They saved him $70 a month and guaranteed that for a year. That's a pretty good little savings. So maybe if you have a carrier that you've been with for a minute, start sniffing around, make sure there's a jump-off point in case they go, you know what? You suck. You hadn't paid nothing on time since you've been here. Your phone's always broke. You're always jacking up our network. You use too much internet. If they say any of that stuff, well, then you say, okay, well, I'm going to jump across the street. Because if you don't have a backup plan and they've done talk bad about you and your family, well, now you're going to have to storm out of there, and you won't have no way to make calls afterwards to tell all your friends about it, because they're going to have cut your network and all your crap off. So do yourself a favor. Have a backup plan before you walk in there and show your butt. That's what I would do if it was me. But at least call them. You might could save some money, which I thought was very cool. Now, on to one other thing. I don't know if you could hear that motorcycle that was going off just a second or two ago. It was coming in my headphones. My headphones were basically jumping. So my buddy from right across the street called me, and he said, listen, I got a new motorcycle. Or it was a new to him motorcycle. It's about 10 years old. It's a beautiful bike, but it's got some miles on, like 8,000 miles. So out here in the valley, that's a brand new bike. And it's just been sitting a minute. All we got to do is fire it up. Let's come on over here and get it done. So I said, all right, I'll go over there and help any way I can. So I'm over here, and we're doing the thing, and I get over there, and he said, wait, before we get started, we need to go get a ketchup mustard bottle. I said, okay. And that involved a trip to the Harbor Freight, because that's what dudes do. We go to Harbor Freight, and we look at crap that we don't need. You know what? This engine hoist is really nice. Now, I have a 2023 model 4Runner. The likelihood of me yanking the engine and needing to hoist it out, slim and none. But when it's on sale, you and your boy, I mean, it seems like the right idea, right? I might as well go on and get myself an engine hoist, because I don't have one, and I sure as hell am going to need one at some point. I mean, I got less than 5,000 miles on my car right now, and I ain't even had an oil change, but you know what? I got to prepare. And if it's on sale, I can save money. Of course, I'm going to have an engine hoist. You know what else I'm going to have? I'm going to have one of them little tiny toolboxes they got right there by the door that you open up like a jewelry box for hillbillies. I love it. There's no chance I'm not there for it. So we had a good time going through that. That was about as manly as the day. The only thing that we could have done that would have been more manly was to fix, or cut down a tree or something. And we're not into harming trees, so that wasn't going to happen. So now we come back and we got all the stuff we need. We got the ketchup bottle and the mustard and the squirt bottle. And why do we need all those things? Well, I didn't know. I mean, I've been around a long time. I mess with carburetors. I work on airplanes. I understand carburetors. I get it. I get when you got to get it. You got your little flap in there and you got your floater and all that. I understand. I'm not telling you that I have the skill set to rebuild a carburetor. That's not what I'm saying. Do I look like Mr. Freaking Goodwrench to you? No, that's not who I am. But I know enough about a carburetor to understand them. But I did not understand that when we were going over here to work on this motorcycle like men do to get this motorcycle started for his girlfriend, because that's what men do, I did not realize that we were filling the mustard and ketchup bottles full of gas and the spray bottle full of gas. I did not realize that when I got over there that you were spraying gas as you were turning the key, hitting the starter and rolling the throttle with the choke out about, yay long. I did not realize you were shooting gas there, but you want to know how I found out? It's when your crotch caught on fire. That's when I found out. I said, I believe your crotch is on fire. But he can't hear me because all he heard was, it's a little off. We think it's timing. I said, your crotch is on fire. It wasn't a half second before he realized, you know what? My crotch is on fire. Now we got an odd situation because I really can't help him put this out. Because in some states, we're going to wind up married. It's not that he's not a pretty man, but his girlfriend ain't going to understand it, and mine sure as hell ain't. So now I'm thinking, all right, bro, you're going to have to burn where you're sitting. Don't keep feeding it gas. He is squirting gas up into... You can't do that. That just doesn't make sense. This is why women live longer than men. He finally got it all put out, and then when he jumped off the bike, thanking the good Lord that he didn't burn what's left of his nuggets, next thing you know, he hits his leg on the pipe that had just been running and got Vance and Hines. It was a rough afternoon for my boy. And let me just tell you, if I come to your house and you're working on a motorcycle and you won't help, I'm your guy. You just call me Mr. Harley or Mr. Davidson. Whatever it is, Mr. Suzuki, I don't care. I got your back. But when I tell you your crotch is on fire, for God's sake, put it out. Put it out immediately, because you need to know right up front, I'm not helping. I'm not your boy. If your crotch is on fire, it's your business. Seriously. Hashtag for real. You can catch the podcast. I appreciate you spending some time with us today. If you want to see the podcast, you can catch it on Spotify. It's available for you on Apple Podcast, also available on YouTube, and catch it at Bud Ford Comedy. You can search anytime. Thanks again for spending time with us.